really just loving me. Like when you begin to walk in your truth and really align with your purpose and figure out what your passion is, I think it's so rewarding. Whatever it is, it may be. For me, it's empowering women. So yes, my name is Angela Young. I am a native of Dallas, Texas, now residing in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm an author of the book Pieces of Me, which is a book of poetry for young women. I'm also the founder of the BeNaked Campaign, which is a platform to promote self-love and just really encouraging women to embrace their perfect imperfections and loving ourselves the way God created us, like in our natural state. So Pieces of Me, I've been a poet I've been writing poetry since I was 15. So it's always been my dream to like publish my work. I think that for me, the whole purpose behind it is to let women know like you're not alone. We're more alike than we are different. And so the different topics that I touch on in the book, I feel like all women, all walks of life, no matter what color, shape, form, where you're from, can really relate to this. And it's all stuff that I've been inspired by since I was like 15. So I took some old poems, I wrote new poems. Of course, I edited the old poems or whatever and made it a book. It has reflection pages for the readers. So as you're reading the poems and being inspired, or it's, pulling at your emotions, whatever you're feeling, you can draw, you can write, whatever you felt at that moment, you have pages to do that. And that's their creative outlet for the readers. And then it's also accompanied with related quotes. Not my quotes, but I feel quotes that resonated with me as the writer. And it also, is related to the poem or the topic that I'm touching on in that particular piece. And so it's just for that everyday girl. We all struggle with different things, and I just want to empower and inspire women through my words. Crazy that you asked me that, because it was all during a period of time. So like a few years ago, I dealt with depression. It was a very dark period for me. It was just one of those things that, it hit me, and it's like, wow, like you never think it'll happen to you. Like I got it together, whatever, and it really can happen to you, anybody. And what I found, like even recently, a lot of people are dealing with depression. But during that time in my life, I was ashamed, I was embarrassed. So for me, writing was my thing. Writing and listening to music, that's just my go-to. It's very therapeutic for me. And so that's what I did. Aside from all the old stuff I had, a lot of the new stuff came from that dark period in my life. And I felt like to be transparent, to really open up about what I was dealing with would definitely inspire somebody. And it helped me to heal. It helped to get me through that dark time. So with that being said, dwelling in your darkness and being by yourself and having to be, I guess I would say, forced to really deal with your insecurities. Like I said, I was embarrassed, but I had to deal with that, and I had to accept that in order to heal from it. So I knew in the midst of my mess, there would be a message. And I feel like for me, that message was the BeNaked campaign. I was naked. Like I literally was naked in the sense that I had to strip myself of my insecurities. I had to be real with myself and be honest and walk in my truth. This is who I am. This is where I came from. Now I'm dealing with depression. How can I heal from this? How can I move on? How can I use my story in order to share it with somebody, inspire somebody else? And I just wish I would have known then what I know now. Like a lot of people deal with it. It's okay. It's going to get better. And so I learned to fall back in love with the girl in the mirror, because I felt like I lost myself. And I found myself. It was a new me, a stronger me, more confident me. I wasn't afraid to talk about the depression. I wasn't afraid to share my story. I think I found my voice in the midst of the storm. And so that's where the BeNaked campaign comes from, because it's so important to really love yourself flaws and all our imperfections, it really makes you unique and it makes you who you are. So there it is. It was the Be Naked campaign, and I really wanted other women to know, like, we can come together, we can empower each other, share your story. You just never know who you're gonna touch. And it all starts with loving yourself enough in order to do that. One way that I knew I was depressed is when I looked in the mirror. I didn't recognize the person looking back at me. I was like, something isn't right. I was sleeping all the time. I just wasn't motivated. I wasn't inspired. I didn't want to be around people. I didn't want to get out the bed. And so I knew at that moment, because I'm really an outgoing person. I love hanging out with my family, my friends, but it was just at that moment, I was just like, what's going on? Like, I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to write. I don't want to do anything. So I knew that something wasn't right. And looking at myself in the mirror and not being able to be like, hey girl, or just love that person, I didn't recognize her. So I knew that I needed to figure out what was going on. And I think for a while I was in denial, to be honest with you. I mean, I was just, just today. And then I realized, like, one day turned into 2 days, and 2 days turned into 2 weeks, and then 2 months, and I was like, oh no, something's not right. So that's how I figured it out. I think it's very, very, very important to talk to someone, because in my opinion, I know for me, I would have never been able to do it by myself. I had to tell my parents, my friends, some of my friends. I didn't tell all my friends because I don't like people to worry about me, but you need a positive reinforcement. Like, you need that positive support system, because with you feeling the way that you're feeling, you need people to feed you that positivity, because you feel so down and so negative and everything is so dark. So you need somebody that's gonna come in, open the girl, get up, take a shower, about to go eat. Even though you may not want to, it really is a part of your healing process. So for me, I had a really, really dope support system. Of course, praying, meditating, those things really helped me. And again, writing. So writing and listening to music, meditation, praying, going to church, having that support system really helped me to move past that and pull myself out of that. One, I always tell people, practice what you post. Like, if it's not your real reality, if it is not your truth, if it's not something that inspires you, resonates with you, don't post it. I mean, I think we all have goals and aspirations and things that we're working towards, and that's fine, speaking into existence. But there's one thing of putting it out there in a way where it looks like it's your reality when it's really not. Like, that's what the Be Naked campaign is all about. Like, really standing in your truth, owning who you are. Like, I can't live your life, you can't live my life. That's what makes us unique. The world needs what you have. And so if you're trying to live somebody else's life, you're cheating the world. You're cheating yourself of your gifts that God put you here to share with other people, because you're trying to live in somebody else's gift and move in somebody else's lane. No, stay in your lane. Figure out who you are and your voice. I think that's very important. Also, you don't know. I read a blog today, and it was crazy that you asked me that, but it was amazing. Like, you really just don't know the story behind the post. So stop comparing your life or your journey to somebody else's journey, because you don't know the pain behind that picture. You don't know the blood, sweat, and tears that went into that business launch. So stop comparing yourself to other people and what they have going on, because you really just don't know the behind the scenes and the story that comes with it. So that's my advice. Walk in your truth and own it. When you're yourself, it comes off. Being authentic and authenticity, it comes off. People can feel it. People pick up on it. And it's cheap. Like, you pay nothing to be yourself. So I think that everyone everyone is here, everyone's put on this earth to fulfill a purpose, to leave it a little bit better, in my opinion. So if you're trying to live and dwell in somebody else's talents or dream or life, then you're cheating yourself. You're cheating the world of what you were supposed to bring to it. So be yourself. Be who you are meant to be. And I think that social media can really become a distraction. You gotta tune it out. It's a distraction. I mean, you can use it for different purposes, but don't allow it to steal your joy and make you feel like you're behind or you're not good enough or you're not worthy, because you are, and you are good enough being who you are. So just live in your truth. Create your own lane, man. Me personally, I really think that life is about balance. You have to, in whatever you do, you have to have a healthy balance. So for the person who works the 9 to 5, you have to cut it off. So when you go home, spend time with your family. Leave work at work. It's gonna be there tomorrow. For the entrepreneur, even though we're constantly working and your email may go off at 2 o'clock in the morning, you get that check or whatever the case may be, you have to balance, you have to prioritize. I think that being an entrepreneurship is really a testament of time management as well. Like, you have to have your to-do list. I know I do. And keep a calendar and a planner. And I think that with that being said, part of your priorities should be you. You need to make sure you take time for you, whether it's meditation, going to the gym, getting lunch with a friend. You have to be able to pour into yourself because you're giving so much of yourself. So it's just like your car. You can only go so far, and then once it's on E, you have to fill up. So it's the same thing. Like, you have to know yourself and be self-aware so that you don't burn out. Take that time for you. I think self-reflection is really what's key. Asking yourself questions like, what are my great accomplishments? What are some of my weaknesses? Because it's very important to know your weaknesses. It's very important to know your strengths. What makes you happy? What makes you sad? What type of people do you like to be around that brings out the best in you? What mistakes have you made? How can you learn from those mistakes so that you don't continue to make the same mistakes? I think once you start reflecting on those things and really honing in on that, you get a deeper connection with yourself. You're really learning yourself. I think for me, in my opinion, self-love isn't a destination. It is a journey. We're forever growing. We're forever learning. And that's really a part of life. You're going to continue to grow. You're going to continue to learn different things. And it's important that you do. But along that way, as you're becoming more mature, you're becoming this person that you're evolving into, make sure that you embrace that. Make sure that you love that, and really take time to reflect on that, because once you are able to answer those questions, that's where love comes in, because that's what you're falling in love with, those things about yourself that you're learning. I think that my brand that I'm working on now is I Am Angela Young. Everything that you put behind I am is powerful. So ask yourself, what are you? I think the affirmation should be, I am enough. I am worthy. I am strong. I am beautiful. I want women everywhere to really fall in love with that woman in the mirror, because she's never going to let you down. You have to really love yourself. Own it. Own your gifts. Own your imperfections. Own your weaknesses. It's all a part of you. And so that's my message. Own it. Love you. Stand in your truth and embrace your perfect imperfections and be naked.